Hello everyone and welcome to another FPL video here on the channel Isabi FPL. My name is Silas Thomas. Today I'll be going through two drafts I've done for the FPL Game Week 9 Wildcard. So I already have the chip activated and I've been trying to catch some price rises all through international break. But I'll be using the tool FPL.team to share two drafts I'm currently considering that will be my wildcard draft for Game Week 9. So if you're new to the channel or you find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on other videos, and then let's get onto it. Looking at the first one, the two goalkeepers are Pope and Ward. With this goalkeeper combination, Pope is definitely going to be the one you play more out of the two of them. And with the look of Newcastle fixture for the next 4 to 5 game weeks, Pope doesn't look bad. He has averaged 3.75 saves per game all season. The Newcastle team are also a side that are fond of reducing their opponent's XG. They try as much as possible to restrict their opponents from taking shots. And so, having the double up of defense with Pope and Trippier doesn't look bad. Going to Trippier, we've talked about the fixtures, but looking at how Trippier has an attacking tendency and has been doing quite well in terms of attacking returns and also racking up the bonus points, Trippier doesn't look bad for the coming games either. And then I have Cancelo and James. Chelsea fixture from now till there about game week 14 looks very good, and with how appealing they are, I definitely like the idea of going with one of the Chelsea defenders. In the next draft, I built a team with double up Chelsea defense, and I'll talk more about it when we get there. But I also have Cancelo. Now, the reason I have Cancelo is not just because of Man City's potential to keep clean sheets, but also because of how good Cancelo is in terms of picking up those bonus points. I watched their last game against Wolves, and despite the fact that Cancelo didn't necessarily bring any attacking returns, he was on 3 bonus points. And this is because of the tackles he made, the number of passes he made in that game. It seems to be a very big impact for the Man City side in their games. Though there are some games where he just goes out of the way and is turned off, but he does very well in a good number of games. And having a defender that doesn't necessarily need to score, but will give you about 9 points in 1 or 2 game weeks, doesn't look bad at all. Over to the midfield, I have Zaha, Martinelli, Maddison and De Bruyne. Yes, there's no Salah in this draft, but the other drafts definitely involve Salah. The direct premium replacement for Salah here is De Bruyne. KDB has been doing very well in the past fixtures and has proven to be one of the best assets for City. So the major debate over owning KDB is whether you own him over the likes of Son and Salah in that midfield spot. I came across an image during the international break where someone was trying to make a case to own KDB, Salah and Son within the period from now till the World Cup. The system doesn't look bad as it is 2 game weeks for each of the players, but we never can tell what FPL plans for us. So then there's Maddison. Leicester are one of the top teams in the fixture ticker for the next 4 to 5 game weeks, and Maddison has been the only major attacking assets for Leicester so far this season. In the game against Tottenham, it was the highest for shots as he had 7 shots in the game, but only managed to score 1. Maddison has been very impressive for Leicester, and I feel with these fixtures to come, he is definitely one that you want to own on your side. The only issue with Leicester is that they are very poor defensively, but the go-to man in their attack is definitely Maddison. Then I have Martinelli, who doesn't look bad for Arsenal either, despite their fixtures being quite difficult in the coming game weeks. I feel comfortable with owning Martinelli into these fixtures, being that I've gained some price rise out of him, and he also may have the opportunity to do well in these fixtures. I have Zaha for his good fixture run after the Chelsea game. Despite the fact that Crystal Palace aren't so attacking and haven't scored many goals in these first few game weeks, I feel Zaha is the go-to man. He's on penalties, though some are saying he's not a very good penalty taker, but he's definitely the one still on penalties for the team. And then up front I have Tony, Mitrovic and Haaland. Haaland is coming to my team for the first time this season with the wildcard, and he's on both wildcard drafts I've done. So we've talked about City fixtures and all that, but I don't need to highlight much on why I'm owning Haaland. It's over 80% owned in the game, and it's definitely a go-to premium in that forward spot. So I may make a case of owning him alongside Harry Kane with the coming fixtures, but while creating this draft, I wasn't able to make a team where I own Haaland, Kane, another midfield premium, and then get other good players to fit in. So I'm going with the 2 premiums for both drafts currently. And then there's Mitrovic and Tony. Some may even make a case to captain Tony this game week, but Tony looks good for the foreseeable future, looking at Brentford's fixture. And then Mitrovic, who has done very well in the international break, doesn't look bad either. Despite his bad luck in game week 8, you definitely cannot make a case against Mitrovic in that Fulham team. Looking at that Fulham team, Mitrovic is definitely the talisman for them, and you cannot make an argument against him in terms of being the highest goal scorer for Fulham at the end of the season. So I definitely like the idea of owning Mitrovic. Now looking at this draft, it's a 3-4-3 formation, but you can make a case of having a 3-5-2 formation for a wild card. But the way things are and the way forwards are banging this season, you definitely want to make a case to have 3 forwards in your team. And that's it for the first draft. Now going over to the second draft. Looking at it, there's not much difference. I'll just focus on the major differences I've made in between these two drafts. Now worth noting that having Patterson in my team, while recording this video, I got the news that Patterson will be out for 4 to 5 game weeks for Everton. So ignore Patterson being in the team, you definitely can make a case to have a replacement with the likes of Fofana or other budget price defender. The first thing I'd like to highlight in this draft is the goalkeeper combination of Guaita and Kepa. Now the goalkeeper combination doesn't look bad, given that both teams have good run of fixtures for the next 5 to 6 game weeks. You can decide which one you would like to go on, and I kind of like the idea because both keepers are not more than 9 million altogether. Yeah, you can say this goalkeeper combination may not work out, given that both teams are not doing very well defensively to start the season. But going for the likes of Pope, I could also make a case for going for Alisson instead of Pope, rather. So this goalkeeper combination basically highlights the idea of budgets. Now the defense looks quite the same. The only case here is Trent Alexander-Arnold over Cancelo. A lot of managers may like this draft because of the blank that City has in game week 12. And they may be looking to plan ahead so as not to have a good number of players blanking in that game week. So Trent Alexander-Arnold doesn't look bad either. Yeah, Liverpool have not been the best version of themselves, but the international break has given them time to recoup, and they also kind of came back to form in the Champions League just before the break. So the midfield, the two different players here are Sinisterra and Salah. I like the idea of owning Salah, given that it may give me an edge over other players who have been them off before game week 8. His fixture doesn't look bad either, and despite him facing the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea in the coming game weeks, I feel he's bound to do well. Also, with the form of which he has come away from the international break, I feel that will be a kind of momentum boost for him to do well. And then Sinisterra for Leeds has done well in the international break also. In terms of attacking, Leeds has been very good. And with the look of the fixture, since we don't have Rodrigo as a go-to man for Leeds anymore, Sinisterra looks like the next best thing. Some are saying it's a like-for-like replacement for Rafinha, and it's going to be very successful in the rest part of the season for Leeds. So the front line is just the same, and I've explained why I've went with this front line. That pretty much covers it for contrasting and comparing these two drafts together. I would like to know your opinion on both drafts. Tell me the one you love more in the comment section. Or tell me ways I could better my decision in terms of choosing a team for the wildcard of game week 9. So that's it for the video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it so far. I won't be doing a team selection video for this game week as I'm currently on a wildcard, but I will share my team before the deadline on Twitter and my social media handles. So be sure to follow on Twitter and Instagram so you won't miss out on my team. I'll be back by next week with our league review and other subsequent videos to come for the game week 10. So for now, ciao, and I'll see you in the next one.